Hello and welcome everybody to the Bubble Tea Time, where we spill the tea on last week's games and set the table for this week, which is the last week of the regular season for Bubble Tea. Who's excited, y'all?
I'm excited. Let's get the
Hell
playoffs going.
yeah. Alright, I'm your host, Colin Zoidberg MD, and joining me today we have Brian Decadonu,
Hello, that's me.
Daniel Dans,
What's up?
Steven the Birthday Boy Kirasaki
Come
Ace,
on. What's up?
and our special guest today, the Bard King, it's Tom Wired.
Hello, hello. Your obligatory DD representative for the season.
There you go. We had to get you on, man. Now, throughout the show, we will be taking questions from Twitch to ask both our analysts and our guests. So don't forget to submit those on Twitch. You can also submit them in the T chat. We'll find them in the Discord if you post them. But who's ready for some highlights?
Let's get it.
All right. First game up today, we have it is
By the way,
NBS.
happy birthday, Steven.
Yeah, I said it was the birthday boy.
Yeah,
It's
I
his
know.
birthday.
I
It's
have
his
to say
birthday.
happy birthday.
Steven, how old are you?
27, I think.
The chat
You're
is
a
spamming happy
fucking
birthday.
grandpa.
I'm so old.
All right. First game up today is NBS versus them good boys with an NBS victory. Brian, what happened in this
what?
game?
You said MBS victory?
No,
NBS
GB victory. GB victory.
Oh,
Sorry.
baby. How could it be an NBS victory with... Wait. Oh, it's not the
Wait.
solo kill. I'm trolling. Okay, well, whatever. Team fight.
Okay.
Team fight. Big team fight. I can't see it. It's blurry. Things are happening. I think a Seraphine ult went down. I don't know. The screen's really blurry.
Okay.
Can't see it.
That was terrible. Okay. Let me just
I
tell you
can't
what
see it.
happened.
The
'Cause I
screen's
I
hella
remember
blurry.
this, okay? I died in the side lane and I was walking late to the dragon. The team 4v5s without me when I had all the gold because we had a huge Seraphine ult, like it was like a 4-man or a 3-man or something, followed
Man
by
ult.
Lucian. Yeah, followed by Lucian ult, and then they just wiped him without me, and I was like, all right, I'm useless.
I mean, you TP'd down for the play and you're like, I'm here, guys.
I'm here for moral support. Let's go.
So you're telling me we went from picking a Steven 1v1 solo kill highlight to a highlight that didn't even
Does
feature
not involve
Steven?
Steven. No.
Who
Why would
cares,
why
man?
would
I
we
was
why would we
Fair,
give
irrelevant
fair.
that game.
why would we give him props on his birthday, dude? Screw that.
Yeah, dude,
You
my
need to-
ego's
you
already
need to
too
boost
big,
him
you
up.
know?
Oh my
You don't
gosh.
need to give me more.
Yeah, how did you feel about that game, man? That puts you in a pretty good position now to get a upper bracket spot, right?
I mean, there was a lot on the line for that game. Like, if we
Yeah.
win, there's a chance for upper bracket, which is very important, obviously. But
Do you know what your percentage is right now?
what is it?
You have an 81% chance to get an upper bracket spot.
Oh, dang. So it was way more important than I thought it was.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that game, I felt like there's a lot on the line. I think I played really well mechanically. I think I was kind of dominating the lane, and I was getting the NBS had really good like team synergy with 3-man ganks. Like there were a couple times where literally Nishant was on the top side, I was on the I was in between all three of them. Matthew was on the bottom side, and Man came from my left, and I literally just got pincered at once. And I was like, "What is this coordination? Is this LCS? Like, what's going on here?" But I think I had a strong showing that game. My team played extremely well. Our team comp was actually absolutely insane. If one of us hits a huge ult, like it's gonna get followed up with more huge ults, you know.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think we won in draft, and I think we won in team play.
All
It was a
right.
good game.
I have been told to clarify by the person that does the math that Caribous cannot do math apparently, and it is actually 81% chance, 81% of scenarios where you get an upper bracket. So
Oh,
it is not
okay.
an 81% chance. It is 81% of the scenarios that are left. You end up with an upper bracket.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds good to
Dare
me,
you.
man.
I'm so sorry. Adam yelled at me, so I'm now correcting
You're
him.
gonna lie to the birthday boy like that? I
He
see how
said
it is,
it's the
This
bro.
is
same
not my
as
yeah,
percent chance if each team has a 50% chance of winning each
right.
game.
What if GB has a 100% chance of winning their game?
Yeah, I
Uh-oh.
mean,
Did you
uh,
do the math for that,
Dang.
Adam?
no, he
Oh
didn't. He
no.
definitely didn't.
Oh,
Anyway,
cool.
moving on. Our next game that we are looking at now, I have to get my list back up because Adam made me type things. So the next game we're looking at is XO versus MBB with a Milwaukee Bucks baby victory,
Baby.
making it 3 in a row, coming in strong to end the season. Let's pull up that clip.
I mean,
Hey.
MBB just had really big team play across the board, right?
Yeah,
Right?
Right?
This is
I
a-
mean-
I love it.
fate for
Look at the lead already.
Yeah.
Disgusting. Oh,
Yeah,
poor
this was
Sopa.
a snowball, right?
The Goon Squad.
the
Yep.
Goon
Here
Squad.
comes the Lux taking farm.
And the kill. The most
I would like to say-
unnecessary TP, and
I
you
just want to say the reason why I did it, Mayo. I start my TP and Mayo goes, "Oh, you don't need to TP." And I'm like, "All right, cool. I already did it, so I'm just gonna farm now." And then they took too long to get the kill, so I had to finish it off.
You had to bail him out. They were all
I had
gonna
to bail
die
him
to
out.
the mouth
They were
fight. He
all
was gonna
gonna die.
turn
They
and
were-
triple
Exactly.
kill or something. Yeah.
Exactly.
They're
So I
both
had to bail
AD
him out.
into a Malphite. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
It's true. Had to get him out.
Man.
So no, it was a really good team win for us. We felt. I mean, we rolled over them pretty much from the beginning. We did a little bit of a risky draft where we basically forfeited Mayo's lane, and then that didn't get forfeited somehow because Wukong into Malphite is not a good matchup. But he made it work, and then the rest of the team made the rest of our comp work. So it felt really good. Felt like a good cohesive team win. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Anybody have any questions since I was the main person playing in it?
Colin, did you TP there and take the kill because you were thinking, oh, this is the only way I can get kills just to KS them, or?
I think he already had two
No,
at
no,
that
no.
point, so I don't know.
Yeah, I was actually doing pretty well that game. No, honestly, like it was. I have TP. I don't need to get back to lane. Let's just make sure this kill like happens instead of like a miracle chance that he gets out.
It's better than to have TP and use it to get something done than to
Right.
have TP and never use it.
So it might have been a
True.
little bit of overkill, but at the time, like it's not like the gank had started when I channeled my TP. Like they hadn't actually started the gank yet.
Yeah,
So
I mean, Mayo got lucky that there was a plant there to get him back up.
yeah, I felt like it was a good TP, and then it was a nice KS. That's all that matters.
Nice KS, baby.
That's all that matters. Alright, moving on to the next game. It is the Student Council versus True Heart Destiny with a Student Council victory. Doesn't the Student Council always win though? Because they just set all the rules, so they can just do whatever they want.
Not next week.
It's a bad joke. It's a bad joke, but I'm
Yeah,
living
you
with it.
set the rules. Shouldn't you win like all the time?
Yeah, you should win
At
every
the line.
right. That's exactly what
That's
it is. All right.
the line, right?
Yeah, that's the line. Let's roll the clip. Dans, you're taking this one.
Okay. So here you see THD going for a very aggressive gank that Mooney manages to escape, and nice block by the Nick Meaden as the TPs come in with the Zac gank to counter this whole engage. And basically, TSC just had THD's number this entire game. Like anytime they tried to make multi-man play, TSC was there to answer it.
Yeah. How big of a factor do we think that Misa was pre-jet lagged?
Pre-jet lag?
Yeah, he was
Pre-jet lagged.
He was pre-jet lagged. What do we think of? Do we think that's the reason?
I don't know, man. I think once you're awake for long enough, you reach this transcendent state of reality. Visa clearly hadn't reached that yet. I think he should have pre-jet lagged at least like 3 days beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what a terrible decision based on his health. Unfortunate.
Yeah, for those of you who are unaware, Misa or Barrock is now in Iceland to help run the Valorant tournament that will be taking place after MSI. So he is being subbed or replaced by John Offerstein to cover him for the last game of the week and then through playoffs until Misa is back. All right, let's go to our next game, which is Deep Dive versus the Acid Rabbits with a deep dive upset, a big upset from downtown. Tom, this is all you. Take this
Tell
one
him,
away. What
Tom,
happened in
tell
this
him.
game, man?
Yeah, we had
Hard
some good
happened.
Bard and team plays. But here we're fighting over the third drag, and we just kind of noticed that Malphite's stepping up a little too far. We're able to layer the CC really well. And then you see a two hands TP in the back to secure the Zins out. It's really good. And then we just clean them up from there. Get the third
Mm-hmm.
dragon, and then we're good to go for the game really after that.
Yeah, I think what kind of slipped under the radar in this game. I mean, obviously the Bard was super good. Tom was MVP, and like I think the pick was like really pivotal. But I think Blazon actually did a really good job of staying up in these fights and like playing periphery. He's against a team that is not a nice team for Victor to play into. Like it was like what Malphite, Kai'Sa combo in the bot lane. Yeah, the Jin Zhao going to dive in and stuff like that. I think he did a really good job of just like making sure he maintained the proper amount of distance to still output as much damage as possible and die. Like I don't even know if he died. I don't know,
He
maybe
got a
once or
solo
twice.
kill also against Ginny.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, can't get too much better than that. So, just a really good effort all around from Deep Dive.
Yeah, he's got
Hopefully,
crazy good
keep seeing it.
DPM this season, so he's keeping up real good.
Yeah. We do have a question from the audience for Wired here. It is from Angela. Question for Wired: why not ban Seraphine after seeing every team ban my Seraphine?
Oh, I don't know. Sometimes it just slips through the cracks, and then you remember why everyone bans it.
Mm.
Just sort of
That seems
happens.
fair.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago when they left up Anivia, that's I'm sure how I don't even remember what team it was, but that's how they felt too.
Or
It's the same
Tactical
thing.
Gazelle's Pike, right?
Yeah. It's got
Yeah. When it gets banned so much, people just forget why.
people are like,
They don't see it played.
why are we banning this? This is dumb. And
Yeah.
then they remember.
Yeah,
The
he can't
the
be that good
the
on
non
Anivia, but then he
right.
is.
Yeah, the non-flashbacks start coming in, right? It's the dog sitting there with all the helicopter noise. That's the image that gets in their heads. Moving on, it's the last game that we're doing highlights for this week, which is Panic in Our Oceans versus Second Breakfast with a Panic in Our Oceans victory. Steven, what
All
happened?
right. So this game, Pio had a huge lead from the early on. Like they won like every close fight. Teddy plays this almost mechanically perfect. He canceled the Lee Sin Q with his ult and then gets a double knockup set up from the Morgana and Vigard. But I think Teddy is playing pretty well in the top lane, especially considering he just moved over. And mechanically, like he's looking solid. He just needs more practice and needs to make, better decisions. But so far, like with the small like transition time, he's playing extremely well with all things considered. This game in particular looked like there were a lot of close fights, but Pio just happened to win them, and then they got all this gold and just started to snowball, the classic.
Close game,
I
Dan.
mean, if only there was somebody on team that could help Teddy with in-game decisions. I think if there was an in-game leader on that team, that would
Hey,
really.
IGL.
hey. He's too busy getting CS and trading
Mm.
bot lane now,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and then
Mm-hmm.
randomly ulting.
I personally like, it's just part of my religious beliefs. I don't really believe in top lane existing, or that it should exist. So, I'm not really sure that I should
Mm-hmm.
advocate for him to get better in a lane that
Mm.
doesn't
Is
really
top lane
exist.
That
just
doesn't
Oh
really
my
exist. Yeah.
gosh.
No,
it's
that's fair. It's completely useless lane.
so top lane is just the TP player,
Yeah. I
right?
mean
The
that's
worst
that's how we play at MBB, right? We force Mayo on TP, and that's all he does now.
the worst part of this is I hate all of you and I want to argue against this, but you guys are absolutely right. Top lane's useless.
Yeah, hence why you played mid lane this last game, right?
True.
We all know. It's all good. All right, moving out of highlights, we have another question from the audience. This one is from the Jack Limestone. Who are the players to watch going into the final week in regards to awards, MVP, Rookie of the Year, etc., etc.?
Ooh, I haven't even kept track of anybody.
Honestly, it's funny because Brian and I talked about this the other day. I think Caribou, Adam has been
Mm.
pretty solid throughout the whole season. Like,
Yeah, he
you
got
know,
snuffed out last year.
Yeah, he didn't even make the top 3 last year. Nuts, by the way.
yeah, it's actually insane. In the
BPL
beginning of the season,
champion Adam didn't make the top 3.
yeah, it's pretty troll actually. But yeah, in the beginning of the season, right, for MBB, like all three lanes were losing some of the games, but like Adam was still relevant and like extremely useful and making good plays. And then
Yeah.
like now that MBB's on the rise, he looks even better, right? So he's just consistently been doing well. I mean, he had a few like troll flashes and stuff like that because of Till, but like overall play, I think he's been consistently doing extremely well, and I think he is a good MVP candidate.
I'm not sure if I've ever seen Colin play Rise though. Okay, anyways. Um agree though. I think Adam, right now, I said it before when we were chatting earlier, but I do think that Caribou is probably my MVP so far. Even when the team was losing, he was like trying. And now that everybody on the team is ticking, I don't know, that team is dangerous. It's the hottest team in the league right now. Um, so yeah, I don't know. He's really up there for me. I mean, there are other names that pop out for MVP, like Man has been playing well all season until he ran into Kawasaki Ace, I guess. I think Steven is probably a name that people should think about. I think Tactical Gazelle people should think about too.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's plenty of names. Limch, plenty of players I think that have been playing pretty well. So seems like an open race. I think in terms of like rookie, I don't know, pick somebody from my team and just give them the award. So
I mean, Tactical
Just
Gazelle's a
because you
rookie too,
have
right?
3 rookies,
yeah. Hey, it's not just 3 rookies. It's the 3 top rookies
I don't know.
are up
Tactical
there. Okay,
Gazelle.
a tactical Gazelle, sure. So give him a space and then take
I
2.
think Matthew Boba should be thrown in there too. He's playing really
That's
well.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
Brian's like, he's
Good
not on my
names.
team. It doesn't matter.
Hey, somebody fill for me really quick. I want to look something up really fast.
Uh-oh.
Well, I don't know. I think so. Is this like MVP stuff talking about like in-game specific only, or like can we think about like shot calling and like
I think
all
that's up
that
to
good
you.
stuff too?
I think that's completely up to you, right? Like,
Look,
is it? Yeah.
well, I'm just gonna throw it in there. Every team Brian's on just gets extremely better. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like think about all these swaps that PO has done to look even stronger. That's all
Mm-hmm.
Brian's big brain, dude. Why do you think he has such
Yeah.
curly long hairs to cover that giant brain of his, dude?
Well,
That's fair.
everybody on my team is good though, and like even though they get better, it's because they want to get better, so they get better. And we can teach them to get better. But I think like if I were you, and for whatever votes I would have gotten, I would say that don't vote for me. I don't think I've played very well. And I think a lot of people on my team play better, like Walker and Mina. Um, so yeah, don't, don't vote for me. I
Can
don't
we
think I've
add
had a very
a
hot season. So
shot caller MVP award? Because I feel like that'd be kind of cool.
That is really hard to do when
It's
we
yeah,
don't
that's really
listen
hard
to
to get.
comms.
Yeah.
I guess that's true. Yeah,
And you can't
Like
vote for your own teammates, so you're
Yeah.
like, I think this person's the shot
you're
caller.
right.
yeah,
You're right.
I
This is
mean,
pretty troll.
They're not
Actually.
even the shot caller. You're just like,
Yeah.
yeah.
it's the shot caller.
I mean,
Who
well,
do
put
we
it
like
this
the
way:
most award?
I mean, if nobody votes for me though, I mean, I haven't had the hottest season in terms of like individual play. It's been all right. But if nobody votes for me, then does that mean I get to weigh myself lower when we make teams next season?
No,
I'm
No,
down.
absolutely
no.
not.
Down.
Absolutely not.
Wait. Make Brian a 3, put him on my team, and
Yeah,
then
I'm
we're
down,
chilling,
dude.
bro.
Literally, we weigh me so high that I'm down. Take away 2 points or something. Perfect, dude. I'm washed up. Trust
Yeah,
me.
dude.
Mhm.
I don't have to worry
Trust me,
about
dude.
anything except popping off and killing people. That's what I want to do, man.
All right. So
Yeah.
I have filled enough time here. So I think that the MVP should come from one of 2 teams: the Student Council or Acid Rapids.
Fair.
And here's why. They're right now, I think, second and third, right, in standings, or first and second, right, in standings, 6 and 2,
A
and
lot
they're
of people
tied with
tied. Yeah.
right. They're tied with PIO as well.
Yo.
But if we go back all the way to before week 1, right, we have Acid Rabbits with an average rank of 6 in our power rankings. Steven rated them last.
Look, dude, I was just betting against Ginny, the
Steven rated
classic.
them last. We have the Student Council with a ranking of 7.5, almost 8. Steven ranked them 8th.
Wait, why are you flaming Steven?
No,
Yeah,
hang
it's
on.
my
I was
birthday, dude. Relax.
Dan ranked them last. Brian ranked them last. Elena ranked them last. I ranked them
Acid
7th.
rabbits. Where did I rank acid rabbits? I thought I ranked acid rabbits like 4th or something.
Acid Rabbits, you have 4th. This is the Student Council.
All right, yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. It's not
Yeah,
that
yeah.
far away.
So all I'm saying is, I think the MVP should come from one of those 2 teams, because somebody on the team is outperforming all of our expectations from the beginning of the year, and we should call them out and celebrate them.
Wait, hold on,
Fair.
guys. Hold on. Hey,
Hey,
Dad,
I voted.
who do you think's
What's
gonna
going on?
win? GB or TSC next week? Choose one. TSC.
Oh, Oh no.
That's
Oh
He just
no.
got betrayed.
That's awkward.
It's over.
Just
Oh
betrayed.
no.
Had you set it up
Betrayal.
already?
So
Oh
looking at
no.
those two teams, who are we calling out on Ask Rabbits in the student council? Who's making the difference out of these two teams? Because like I think the obvious choice for Acid Rabbits is probably Jenny, the most celebrated player in BTL.
I don't know.
Well, I mean,
You have
not for an
Jack
MVP
Limestone in there
discussion.
too.
You know, Jenny kind of feels like me, no?
It,
Like, I mean, our individual seasons. I mean, well,
it's
mine
gotta.
stand out a little bit more than usual. I mean, like my seasons individually might stand out a little bit more, like on average, than Jenny's. But like
Mhm.
our impact on a team is like, I think a lot of it is like how we construct a team and how we play out games and stuff like that. But like, I don't know. I don't think Jenny, just like me, we haven't had like crazy individual seasons or anything. I wouldn't give it to Jenny. I'd give it to either Tactical Gazelle or Jack Limestone in the bot lane, like
Okay.
surely.
The bot lane
Out of
there.
Acid Rabbits. What about student council? We're looking at student council here.
I mean, it's Nick Mead, I think.
Nick Mead?
Mead or
I mean, I don't know. I think Plo's been playing well, like pretty well, and a lot of their games, that he does become the carry and like stuff like that. But Nick Mead has kind of won every lane, especially in the second half of the season, when they started streaking a lot harder. So I don't know, probably Nick Mead. Vid Mid's been playing pretty well too, but I still think Nick Mead's probably been like their most decisive player.
All right. Wired, you got anything to add?
Yeah, I think Nick Mead and Vid are both playing really well. Nick is super steady in lane and then just pops off every team fight. It's just like he
how?
doesn't stop.
I just
Yeah.
remember he was playing Jin, and we had such dive for him, and we could not kill him.
Yeah, he's always in the perfect spot. And Vid's been playing really well as well.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
in the second half of the season, the entirety of TSC has really stepped up, and looked a lot more cohesive. I think in the first half of the season, I mean, they've only lost 2 games, so it's not like, it's been a dramatic difference between halves or anything like that. But when we played them, at the start of the season, it felt like a disjointed team of a bunch of individuals, and we, would pick at the cracks until, we found something that was large enough to like, chisel away. That really isn't the case anymore. I think that it's not just like a win lane, win game kind of team anymore. I think it's a team where they use their lane pressure and their ability to, not get run over and always generate something. They use that really well. And like in the clip that we saw with their entire team collapsing on bot lane and stuff like that, I think they're starting to really like have all the pieces come together with like mid TPing into fights and Poe Panda being in the right place and stuff like that. Like now they're a legitimate team with good players. So I think they'll be dangerous going to playoffs.
I mean, that was exactly the thing you said about them coming into the season. You weren't sure if the team play was going to be there, and now it's there. They're at the top of the standings.
Somebody in the chat called out exactly who I was going to call out. Who I don't think they're an MVP candidate as much as I like them. But I think Adam or not Jesse. Sorry, not Adam. Just was reading Caribou. Jesse does a fantastic job playing weak side top. He did it 2 years ago on my team. We literally just played him weak side, never paid him any attention, and just let him lane. He's doing it again this season. He is a fantastic weak side top laner that plays for the team and then shows up in team fights and does a really good job. And I think he deserves some credit for that. We did have
I mean, he's always been a solid team player. Like, I don't think that he has actually improved this season from like the season 5, the last season he played. I think he was already solid. And like he has one style that he plays and he plays it really well. Like I think some people view him as abusable, like way in the past and stuff like that. He's not like that anymore. I think he'll be there at the right time when you need him with enough strength to make an impact.
he's solid.
It's been solid for sure.
Yeah, I just want to call him out. I think he deserves some credit there. We've been on this topic for a little bit. I do want to say Jack Limestone did have another question, which is what did he have to do to get into this discussion? We brought you into this discussion, dude. You were mentioned. We
This
talked
is
about it.
before
I talked about it, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh no, we talked about it. I'm just saying.
I mean, because I don't know.
You were
If he
getting there.
wants to,
We were
I mean, we
getting there.
talked about it, right? I mean, I don't know if we want to like stoke his ego or whatever, sure.
No,
But
no,
like,
no. I'm just messing around. He said it
yeah,
beforehand. I'm just messing with him.
yeah. I mean, I think like for me, like, I mean, obviously the bot lane has been running over people. So both of them should warrant some sort of discussion, like MVP like level, like area. I just think Tactical Gazelle has like, he's been pivotal from the start. Like, I don't know, like, and if you watch individual bot lanes, you'll see it. Like, what about the Cincy bot lane? Or they played against EXO, and Tactical Gazelle just like solo kill people straight up. Xerath bot lane, same deal. Like I don't know. There's so many bot lanes that have been broken open at like level 2, 3, whatever. Tactical Cell just setting up everything. What about against our team? Even though like the first blood happened, which was really unfortunate for our team, it was still got Tactical Cell like flashing on Pike at level 2 to like burn flashes in return and essentially like doom the lane. I think he's just kind of won games for like at level 2. I don't really know. There's not. If I pick one player from AR, it's 100% Tactical Cell. Yeah, there's not really like any doubt in my mind about it. I think.
It's now time for my favorite segment where I don't have to do anything. It's dance stats.
All right. For today, we have the Thresh mains, or at least the most well-known Thresh players on the league right now, Pentamaster and Matthew Bobo XDXD, coming in for our PO versus NBS matchup. Honestly, if you're looking at the score lines, like these are pretty close in terms of impact. I think the KDA just tends to be mainly because of the slight downtrend from MBS. They dropped 2 games recently. But I think these two players want to have high impact, and I'm expecting a Thresh to be played this game. Okay, Brian?
I mean, I don't know. It's been banned out like almost every game against us, no? And I'm sure against Matthew as well. So if they leave it up, I don't know. You might see it one way or another.
Oh, we need confidence. Are we going to see the Thresh, Brian? Are
I
you
mean, if it's
leaving it up?
open,
Are
I'm
you
sure, but
leaving it up?
No.
I
We're
don't
gonna
know.
see it. Either it's gonna be banned or it's gonna be picked, basically.
Yeah,
So,
you'll see it somewhere in the draft for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's 100% pick ban no matter what.
all right. I want the other support here to chime in on his opinion on these players.
That's,
Would that
that's
be
you.
me?
That would be
That's
Yes.
you.
Okay. So I think if you're looking at this, the most important stats here would probably be KP and vision per minute. The others are a little more team reliant, but I think the vision per minute from both of them are actually really impressive. And the KP is like through the roof. I know you can get a KP pretty easily with like a lantern and stuff, but other than that, that looks like they've both been playing really well in Thresh this season.
Yeah. They are.
Do we know how many games of each they have played of Thresh? Out of
Uh,
the 8
I
games so
think
far?
Chase has played like 2 or 3. Matthew's only gotten the 1.
Mm. No, Chia says 1-1.
Really?
That's what Chia said, 1-1. I don't know. She says I don't know though. So that way to bait me. Way to bait me, producer. I
Because
trusted you.
I'm pretty sure Chase kept getting Thresh over and over again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Pentamaster said 2. So I'm gonna assume that he knows what he's talking about. So he's played Thresh twice, and then Matthew Bobo has played it once. So there you go. So we got power picks, and we know that they're power picks because if they've only played them a few times, probably banned. Yeah. Let's move on to our predictions for this week. We're gonna look at predictions, and then we're gonna look at our prediction record, which is the most important. So if we're taking a look at it, it's actually a little bit more of a toss-up than the previous weeks have been, which is surprising going into week 9. Typically things are a little bit more fleshed out here. Um, so you got some toss-ups here. PIO versus MBS. We have PIO against across the board. Steven, why is PIO gonna take this one home?
Man, I don't know, dude. I feel like PIO is just playing really well. We just played NBS and like had a pretty solid game against them. I think PO it just has a more momentum right now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe NBS will turn around. They're a solid team and they have potential to win, but I make it slightly PO favored only because of momentum, and I think PO's been
Mm-hmm.
improving and playing really well. So
Okay. Dan's, I'm gonna throw it to you. How does MBS upset PIO in this one?
That's gonna be a tricky one. I think it's gonna have to be mid jungle synergy. I think Nishant and Man will have to outplay them. Man's bullied almost every mid laner he's faced. The question is, will he be able to do that against Mina?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You
Alright.
assuming Mina is playing mid
That's true.
Yes, I am
assumption.
assuming that.
You are assuming Mina is playing mid. Cool. Let's go. Next one up is the Student Council versus the Goodest Boys, which is a split decision here a little bit, as you can see on our chat, which I accidentally just minimized because I was looking at something else. So yeah, we have it split here with 2 people going for the Good Boys, 2 people going for the Student Council. Brian, why is the Good Boys going to take it home?
Oh man, why me? This is a close match, I think. We actually have a lot of close matches this week. I think
Mhm.
almost all of them, honestly. But this one, like, I went a little back and forth in this one. But I think GB has a few more things in their bag of tricks, and this might be a good game to whip them out too. I mean, obviously they whipped some of it out against NBS, where Steven went mid on Aurelia. But I think like I don't know. This is really hard because I don't really know what to expect from GB anymore. They play a lot of comps. They've like put different people mid every game. Like they've had like 3 different mid laners. They put Aoki top last game, like all that stuff. All that combined results in a GB that is unpredictable and streaking right now. I think like MBB, they're also on like a 3-game win streak right now. Um, so yeah, and honestly, one of the biggest things is that they recover from like pretty bad spots. There's that Darius game that Steven was playing that didn't go so hot in the early game, but the bot lane was able to buoy it until like
Yeah.
Steven came online, and then there's a game after that where Steven was on Aurelia, never needed anybody to buoy him, just solo killed the mid laner and kept doing it. Like I do think GB is hard to predict here, and
Mhm.
TSC, even though they're also pretty hot right now, um, I think GB just has some like unpredictability on their side, maybe some more solid drafting. I'm not convinced by TSC drafts necessarily.
Okay.
But that said, I mean, I don't know. It's like a 60-40 game, 55-45 kind of game.
Let me
So
Why?
let me
No, no,
put in
no.
my
Hang on,
2
hang
cents.
on, hang on. Wired, you
Yes,
predicted the
sir.
other way.
Yes, I
yeah.
did.
So
Uh-oh.
Or
why
did
is the
I?
student?
Wait, I
Yeah,
thought
you
he
did.
picked JGB.
I
Oh
thought
no,
you
no,
picked.
I did
No,
GB.
no.
I did GB. Yeah.
No, I
Yeah,
picked
yeah.
GB.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That's my bad. I typed that up wrong then. Ah.
Oh,
So
well, we
yeah,
both
Steve.
predicted GB.
All
Look,
right,
dude.
Steven. Yeah, go for it.
Here's the thing, okay? You guys all heard my dad say TSC was gonna win, right?
Yep.
But who is the most cursed caster here? It's me, right? That's genetic, baby. That's genetic, okay?
fair.
So if he voted for TSC, GB's gonna win. You already know it.
So I
Let
was,
me try this again. Dan's, you voted the other way.
yeah.
Why
So
is TSC gonna win?
so Colin, the reason TSC is gonna win is because I flipped the coin and voted TSC.
There it is. That's it.
That
Yeah.
is,
That's it. That's the most solid.
A
come on,
scientific way of
dude.
doing it.
Yeah, that's the most scientific way of doing it. So.
Yeah. Wire, do you have a take on this one since it's such a close prediction here?
I think it's a pretty big toss up as well. I think it pretty much is on if Steven can gap someone or not.
Yep.
But that's pretty much it.
That's what I was about to say. I think Steven is the win con right now. He's been popping off, which is great for Steven. We love you, birthday boy.
I mean,
But if Steven if Steven isn't as strong as when he's popping off and getting a bunch of solo kills,
Yeah.
does the
well, you guys are
have an
saying this, but like if you watched like the Darius game, I was straight up running it down and my team carried me to the point where I could
Yeah.
pop off.
Put
Yeah.
some
Right?
respect
And
on
then
Asian problems in
yeah,
Aoki's name.
yeah,
it's
for
not
real.
disrespect. It's not disrespect. It's that we have seen them play through Steven a lot, right?
And we saw them play without Steven and win.
Yeah, and I mean,
True.
even if you look at the last game, like there was that fight at Dragon where they legitimately just 4v5 and I had all the money and they 4v5 without me and killed them all. So like, I don't know. I think I don't think it's just the me show. Like I think, if I get big, it kind of solidifies that we're gonna have a easy time or a
Mhm.
good time. But
But
like
there's
even if
still
I
other
don't,
paths to victory.
yeah, even if I don't, like it's kind of an insurance plan. Like the rest of the team still has the potential to pop off and they've been showing that they can. So
All right. There you go. I'm wrong. All right. Next game up is Milwaukee Bucks baby versus the Acid Rabbits. This is also going to be split 3 for Milwaukee Bucks baby, which is the underdog the 4-4 team versus the 6-2 team, and 2 for Acid Rabbits. So this time I am right. Tom, why are the Acid Rabbits going to beat Milwaukee Bucks, baby?
This might be a little unconventional, but I think the sub for Acid Rabbits this week. I had him on my team last week, Evarion. I think he's pretty good, and I think he could kind of swing things in the favor of what you normally see as a 50-50 sort of game
Mm-hmm.
and secure the AR victory.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely showed up in the deep dive series or game, so there's that. He was one of the most critical members in that game too. I think like I don't know, Man Puppet's been pretty good this season though.
No, no,
A
not
top
saying
tier
he's
jungler for
a
sure,
scrub or anything.
for sure. That said, like I don't know if Eveson or Everion or whatever, like I'm hoping that it's not that big of a gap, and he's just like him and Man Puppet hopefully are like pretty solid or like even, and if that means if they are even, that means like Everion should be really good because Man Puppet is also like and has been playing really really well. No, no, man. This game is pretty toss up to me, but I think MBB has some crazy form of like, I don't know, late season buff slash like just crazy form of heat. They're totally on fire right now. Taking down a ton of teams that are like pretty good teams, and honestly, in like really convincing fashion. None of these games, their recent wins have been over what? PO, NBS, XO. None of these games were particularly close. Um, None of them. They just kind of ran away, got a lead, and then snowballed the crap out of the lead, and games have been over. AR's games recently though have been like a little shaky. They lost to Deep Dive obviously, as Tom surely remembers, and then EXO or not EXO. Yeah, EXO was really close too. That was the game where Cincy was on Vayne, and like they had a shot until they didn't. I don't know. I think like this game is a weird intersection of two teams that will be contenders in playoffs. Both of them will be, and AR is still like, I mean, by all means, a top team for sure. Possibly still the number one team. That said, like MBB is like a molten fireball right now, and I don't know if AR can stop them in their current form.
Here is why I
Does fire
chose.
beat acid? Somebody get Pokemon out.
Acid's not a type.
Foolish.
Like a
Well,
poison man.
here's why I think. Well, I voted MBB, and here's why. AR, like their style as a team is to have really good teamwork and team synergy, move to map places, and like play together, right? But if you have a sub, doesn't that kind of mess with the synergy? Like, what are the odds he fits in perfectly and does the exact that Man Puppet does and can play in a similar style that works for the team, right? And on top of that, MBB is on a really, strong hot streak. I I think it's kind of cool because GB and MBB have a similar like rise together in terms of like both started winning and doing well. But I don't know, MB's on a hot streak. AR synergy might be in trouble. At the same time, every time I vote against Jenny, what happens? So we'll see what happens.
Yep. Don't cast or curse us. That's all I gotta say. Next up is Second Breakfast versus Deep Dive. I believe this is also split. Nope. Yep. There we go. Second Breakfast versus Deep Dive. It is split 2-2. 2 for Deep Dive, 2 for Second Breakfast. Brian, you're going on the Deep Dive train, hyping up our
I
boy
mean,
Wired here.
I'm not gonna ignore the fact that just beat AR in like,
Mm-hmm.
maybe
Yep.
not the most decisive fashion, but like pretty decisive. I don't know, like they're looking pretty hot. But Second Breakfast on the other hand, I think it's mostly this deep dive pick. I think they're getting better and trending towards playoffs. I mean, maybe it's another rerun of like what we saw last season and in seasons past where deep dive magically turns it on in playoffs, and that would be awesome to see. But I think this is less a deep dive thing and more of a Second Breakfast is on a massive downturn kind of thing. Um, like obviously I want all the teams to succeed. And Second Breakfast is no exception with my boy Dan's on the team and other people I love like Will, etc. But like I mean, there's no denying that they're in a slump, and it's a pretty gigantic kind of slump. Um, I don't really know if Deep Dive. I mean, Deep Dive is in. I mean, I don't know. They just beat the best team in the league. Like, I'm sure they're like riding on some highs right now. I don't really know if Second Breakfast is feeling that kind of momentum. So purely off of like that very not analytical. Like this team is really hot, this team is not. I think Deep Dive probably takes it, but I mean, I guess on a more like analytical scale, I think like Blazon's been doing a ton of damage. Wired, obviously, when he's given Bard, can turn a game on its head. But like even not on Bard, like I think Wired is going to make impact on map. Like I I don't know. I think Deep Dive looks like an interesting team. I voted them, at the start of the season, like way back. I put them in like I don't know, second or third or something on my team power rankings. I thought that's the Deep Dive
I
we're gonna
got
see.
you. I can tell you what you
Yeah,
put
you can
them.
tell me. I'm pretty sure I did. All right, so I don't think I'm lying. Um, they're up there on my power rankings. I thought that was the deep dive we are gonna see. The deep dive that had like Drew running things in jungle, Blazon like scaling up to mid game, that mid jungle synergy going off, Wired finding ways to stabilize bot side. Like, I thought that's what we were gonna see. What we saw in the AR game was like, wait, this is the deep dive I voted for. But we haven't gotten that this season. But I think this could be the start of a foundation that brings them into playoffs and second breakfast. Unfortunately, I think acts as another stepping stone.
You
Sorry,
put them
Dan.
second.
Put them second. Jesus Christ. See?
You put deep dive
I had
second.
faith. I had faith, but hasn't
Dan,
really been fulfilled yet. But hopefully in
Dan,
playoffs it will be.
Dan, do you know
Yeah,
where
we
you
still
put them?
I
playoffs.
put them first, didn't I?
No, you put them third.
Okay.
For the record, Steven, you put them fifth. I put them fourth. So we all thought deep dive was going to be pretty good. Dan's, I put my faith in you. I put my prediction chances of winning the prediction belt on the line with you.
Is this just,
You gonna bring it home for me?
I'm gonna do my damnedest to do that.
Hell yeah, that's what I like to hear. I believe in my boy Dan's. That's why I pick him. That's why I stick with him.
Is he
Got
trying to
you.
guilt me because I didn't vote for MBB for a
Yes,
couple weeks?
100%, dude. Come on, you fell off the train super hard.
It's okay.
Dang.
Papa
And
Steve didn't even believe, so.
yeah, let's move on to our last game of the last game to predict. It is going to be True Heart Destiny versus XO. We have one XO believer, which is Matt Alke, who's not here. All the rest of us are picking True Heart Destiny. XO's had a season so far. They still have a chance to turn it around in playoffs, so I think this one is fairly straightforward. Dan's, talk to me about it. What's this game going to look like?
I think it's gonna be interesting to see how THD synergizes with the new jungler.
Mhm.
But that being said, I don't see them losing this. I think Lynch is gonna match against him very, very well, and
Even Tim.
true.
Is Tim going mid? We don't know.
We don't
He
know.
just played 2 mid games in a row.
True.
Maybe Tim goes
Dude.
AD this game. Who knows?
I mean, I don't expect him to, or for that matter, Nikolai to get Galio for this game.
Mm-hmm.
I think if it's Tim versus Nikolai, they do play in a team together, the B gang, so they know each other's habits. That should be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see how bot lane goes. I know Manbutts didn't play last week, so there was a little less synergy between Bananas and Schluckabeer. But Manbutts is no longer in exams, so he's coming in. He saw the loss. He's gonna make up for it.
There it is.
I have a question. Is it possible to change your prediction?
Yes.
Ooh.
I want to change it to XO because here's why. This is like THD's like probably weakest form right now. Like their star player, star player is gone. I'm not sure if they're gonna really practice much. Like I know Opportunity's a busy guy. Like, and XO's trying to try new stuff out, and eventually, hopefully, they get a win out, right? Like I don't know. There was that one game where they were really close to winning against AR. I think like there's potential there, and I think like playing against a weaker version of THD right now, like considering there's no synergy built, all that like regular season stuff is out the window right now. I think I don't know, it's gonna cause a lot of issues for THD.
So you're swapping over to XO.
I'm swapping over to XO as a
Alright.
spicy take, but I
That's
want
gonna-
my boys to get a dub. One dub. I believe in y'all. Okay.
This is ramifications. This is ramifications for the prediction belt. So Elena, you need to mark this down.
Uh-oh.
You need to
Look,
mark this down because this is ramifications.
I am doubly screwing myself by doing this because honestly, if I just keep the bet the same as Collins, I have a good chance of having the highest percentage of predictions correct, right?
This,
But
so this is what we're going to talk about in a second. But yeah, it's if we want to pull the standings back up, Elena. So, or not the standings, sorry, the predictions. I apologize. The predictions. Thank you. That's my fault, not yours. 100% on me.
It's all
So,
Tom's fault.
if you look at the predictions on that top row, you can see who is the prediction king right now. So, as you can see over on the very far left, we have Adam, Digital Feeling. However, Mr. Digital Feeling forgot to submit his picks this week. So, unfortunately, he gets an 0 for 5 because that's how this works. Like, you have to predict the games, you can't just not predict games. So, his record's going to go to 27 and 16, which bumps him out of the running pretty much for the highest percentage uh, of prediction correct, because he'll be down to 62%. In second place right now, it is Colin and Steven, myself and Steven. In third place, it is Brian and Dan's at 9 and 13. And then, in second place, it's the guess. In third, it's myself and Steven. In fourth place, it is Brian and Dan's. But it's all pretty close. So what does this actually mean? Basically, if Wired over here goes 2 and 2, the guests win. Like that, he has to get 2 right, and the guests will have the highest percentage correct throughout the season. If they go 1 and 3, the door is open for Steven and I to come and clench victory from the jaws of defeat.
yeah, but we'll have an analyst first too, and that's what matters to us, because we're the analysts,
Because we're the analysts, yeah.
this is our egos
Exactly.
playing here.
Exactly.
So what I'm saying is me switching over to XO right now is a double down moment. Okay, there's so much on the line. Okay? I believe in you, XO.
You switching
believe
over to
in you.
XO makes the 2 games that we can predict together opposite.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go with the underdog here and say that they're gonna win a game. Okay.
There you go. I know, I like it. So that,
praying.
yeah.
The way you
it's
do it, Colin, is you throw your game against AR.
Is that what it is? I throw my game
Okay,
against AR.
integrity. Hello.
All right, let's pull up the standings. There we go. So as you can see at the top of the standings, we have a 3-way tie for first place right now between Acid Rabbits, the Student Council, and Panic in Our Oceans. In fourth place, we have True Art Destiny at 5 and 3. In fifth place, with a 3-way tie, it is the Nutter Butter Scudlers, the Milwaukee Bucks, baby, and the Good Boys, all at 4 and 4. In eighth place, we have Second Breakfast at 3 and 5. In ninth, we have Deep Dive at 2 and 6. And in 10th, we have Executive Order at 0 and 8. Our friend Caribou has been making, as we've referenced already, not a percentage, but how many different ways can each team make the top bracket. I think I'm saying that as clearly as possible.
Close enough.
Yeah, close enough. So the teams that are locked for the upper bracket right now are, of course, Astro Rapids, the Student Council, Panic in Our Oceans, and True Heart Destiny. All of those teams are locked in for the upper bracket. The 4 teams that can still make the upper bracket, with the 2 spots remaining, are the Nutter Butter Scudlers, the Milwaukee Bucks, baby, the Good Boys, and Second Breakfast. Which of those 4 teams makes the upper bracket?
So pick 2.
You got to pick 2. Which of those 4 teams makes the upper bracket?
I mean, per my predictions, if my predictions all come true, it'd be MBB and Good Boys. Well, I guess I didn't predict our own game against NBS, but obviously we want to win. So hopefully we can win that game. If that happens, they're 4 and 5. And if my predictions come true and MBB and GB win, they both go to 5 and 4. And they clinch upper bracket. So I guess that's how, I don't know, it would break down in the world that I am thinking it'll go down. But there are a lot of options on the table here.
In
So
the world where you don't get your way,
yeah.
Brian, NBS and SB go through.
Yep.
Okay.
And that way, yep. If both GB and MBB lose, then it's an NBS SB angle. Yeah, I don't know. There's so much that can happen. All these games this week are so close, and some of them are such toss-up-y kind of games that we honestly don't know what the middle of the ladder is going to look
Yeah.
like.
So percentage-wise, so the percentage of ways that teams can make the top bracket. There are 81% of scenarios that have the Good Boys making the upper bracket, 75% of scenarios that have Milwaukee Bucks baby making the upper bracket, 62% of scenarios have NBS making the upper bracket, and 25% of scenarios have Second Breakfast making the upper bracket. Just so we can lay that out. Which leads into one of a question from one of our not guests, viewers. It's another question by, I believe, Caribou, which is how big of an advantage do you think the top bracket is? Last year, we had MBB and Deep Dive, who were both who finished 3rd and 4th, who both started in the lower bracket. So do those extra games, those extra best of 3 series help? Is it the fear of losing one series that just motivates them, or is it, you have when they face an upper bracket team that comes down there, that team is coming off a loss versus you're coming off a victory?
I think the latter bit definitely has some influence. You've built momentum with your win, and then you're facing somebody who's on downs.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, last season the teams that had a bye ended up in the finals. So I think there's a limit to how much that will factor in.
Yeah, I just want to say for the record, like we do every season so far, and maybe it changes. I don't know who the first seed is going to be because there's a lot of options there too. But the first seed coming out of the regular season in 6 seasons of BTL has never won BTL, ever.
So the question is, can Ginny, the
Yeah.
most winning player in
She
BTL,
break the
break
curse.
the curse?
Did
Right?
she break
Yeah.
the curse?
Is she the
Potentially.
chosen one?
Or is she playing the long game? She's gonna throw to us, so she's not first, so she doesn't have to worry about the curse.
Yeah, I
Ooh.
mean,
That's the big brain.
yeah, I think part of it too, like, I don't know, like Dan's and Steven had a bye one season when they were on the same team. There was a decent gap between, when the regular season ended and when you guys
Yeah.
started playing, and
Ooh.
that gap, I think, your team probably didn't like
We
that
got
first year and
iced.
stuff
We
like
got
that.
iced
Yeah.
so
Yep, got
hard.
iced pretty hard. So
You know,
like,
do you remember who beat
there
you?
is stuff like that.
Yeah,
that
shut
would
up, Colin.
But I mean, nowadays we've got a double Elam bracket and stuff, so that team
Mhm.
goes down, can like lick their wounds a bit and then surge. So I don't know. I think the upper bracket is still like a decent advantage now that we actually have one.
Mhm.
But I think like say Deep Dive and MBB, I don't know if it was necessarily like series giving the momentum. I mean, people just played dramatically better than they did in the regular season. Like Timmy wasn't that much of a factor in the regular season for Deep Dive, and then suddenly in playoffs he became like Super Saiyan Timmy. MBB just kicked all over the board. I mean, they had their piece of the potential, but it wasn't until playoffs that they really just started putting it all together.
I also
So
think
don't know.
MBB last season had a really rough early season, and then they were starting to put stuff together way too late, so they couldn't. Like there was a like 4 or 5 way tie where they literally had lost against everybody else that they had tied with. So I think coming into the playoffs, they were probably the scariest lower bracket team.
Yeah.
By miles.
They absolutely were.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think they were on like a 3-game win streak at that point.
Right. If there is a world where NBB like loses to AR and drops into the lower bracket, which like AR is still a really strong team. This world is like pretty possible. That is a scary motherfucking team to place in the lower bracket. I don't think anybody really wants to be against NBB as a first round opponent in the lower bracket. So yeah, I mean, might be some deja vu there too. Not sure.
Let's pull up the schedule here for the last week of BTT for season 9, season 8. Can't ever remember. Season 9, season 7, season 7. Fuck it, one of those seasons. So
No, our game's gonna be Wednesday at 7 p.m. as well. Not like this. Oh no.
I think
Oh well.
ours is scheduled.
So Wednesday at 7 p.m. we have True Heart Destiny versus XO. We also apparently have Brian,
EO and NBS. Uh-oh.
IO, and MBS both at 7 p.m. On Thursday at 7 p.m. we have Second Breakfast versus Deep Dive. And then following that immediately after is Milwaukee Bucks baby at the Acid Rabbits or versus the Acid Rabbits at 8 p.m. And then to be scheduled. Did you say you had a time, Steven?
Yeah, guess when it is? 7 o'clock p.m. on Thursday. So
Let's
might be a rough
Oh,
go.
no.
time.
Let's go. There you go. So 7 p.m. on Thursday as well. We're getting two double feature days, Wednesday and Thursday. We'll get those double streams going for you guys on the Bubble Tea League dose. What game are you guys looking forward to most?
Well, here's the
I'm
thing, okay? If PO wins, GB is upper bracket, right? Is that how it
We got
works?
to call in our
If Peel
calling our
wins,
consultant
let
Oh
me
God.
consultant Adam to answer that, but
let me check.
I
Look,
mean,
if
you have the head-to-head against MBS anyway. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
you
I'm
do.
pretty sure you're in, but I don't know.
So you know
okay,
what?
dude.
Yeah.
Look, we beat NBS last week to solidify PO being in the upper bracket, right? And one
Mhm.
thing, Brian is always reliable, okay? He's gonna come in here, but our game doesn't even matter. The match to watch is PO versus NBS, okay?
There you go. All right. So
I-
PIO
yeah.
versus MBS, 7 p.m. on Wednesday is Steven's pick. Brian, what's your pick?
I mean, in terms of impact, it's POMBS because our game will impact everything on the ladder. It impacts MBS's fate, GB's fate, potentially MVP's fate. But it also impacts our fate. If we beat them and MBB beats AR, we're first seed. Even if TSD wins, we have the head-to-head. So like that match is crazy pivotal for the entire ladder. So I'm in it, but I
You
would
can
if
say
I
it.
was
You can
like
pick it. That's fine.
if I was a random viewer, that would be the match to watch. In terms of like fun though, I think AR and MVP is gonna be a
Oh
banger.
yeah.
I would watch that one in terms of like pure entertainment. I think like these are two really explosive teams. Um, I mean the MVP right now is like the hottest team on the planet, and then like AR, even though they've had some downturns, I mean they're AR. They've been tearing it up like pretty much the entire season. So that one.
Dance. What you got?
I mean, the MVBAR is hard to beat, honestly. Particularly given that all the other matches will be done,
Mm-hmm.
and it's what I think there's a lot of implications for playoffs in that one. No matter how the games end up going,
Mm-hmm.
because AR is fighting for first seed, and MVB's fighting for
Fighting for
upper bracket. Yeah.
Yep.
So
All right. Wired. What you got? Which one's your game to look out for?
I'm looking at TSC GB. I think it's going to be a really fun game to watch.
Alright.
There's a lot of talented players, and I think sometimes both their teams' games sort of devolve into this sort of fiesta, and I love to see them.
All right.
A lot of team fights, a lot of scrapping.
And I am gonna call out Second Breakfast versus DD. I think that's a really interesting game. Yes, DD can't make the upper bracket right now, but they can spoil it for Second Breakfast.
oh god.
No, only actually
But
they can spoil it for
also,
second breakfast. They take the head-to-head, right? If they
they
beat them,
take the head-to-head, yeah.
tied, take the head-to-head.
But not only that, they can take it from Second Breakfast, but then they will also have beaten AR and Second Breakfast in 2 consecutive weeks. That's going to be a team to look out for in playoffs. So
Sure.
I think that's a really interesting game to watch, just from a like,
Jeez, I
is
hadn't
D
even realized
is
the head to head.
is DD gonna like all of a sudden be like, hey, we're here too, we exist. Like we all had them in the upper, echelon of our power rankings at the beginning of the season. I mean, maybe they show up and
Yeah,
pop
I
off.
mean, this could be in a lot of scenarios. I'm sure this could be a playoff preview because
Mm-hmm.
or at least like a first round matchup playoff preview. Because if Deep Dive beats Second Breakfast,
Oh,
they're playing against each other.
I
Um,
I got breaking news. If they beat Second Breakfast, they
yeah,
guarantee
it's
Second
SSB, right?
Breakfast as their
Because they're
playoff
tied,
opponent. Yep.
and not only do they take them as playoff opponent, but they have the head-to-head, so they get side selection. Boom. I mean, it's pretty. I don't know,
Woo!
pretty straightforward. Like they really
Woo!
want that win, yeah.
Woo! That's
So
spicy. I
it's
think
on
that's
the
my
line,
game.
Tom.
That's my game.
Yeah, we can bring out some secret spicy picks and
There you go.
Look,
really
dude,
mental scar for the playoffs.
everyone's sleeping on this XO THT game, but like when my birthday cake was out and the candles were lit up, dude, my wish was XO wins this game. Okay, it wasn't
I
really.
like
I
that.
didn't curse you. Don't worry. But I'm just I'm just saying, man. This is the game. I have real good vibes. You know, it's my birthday, dude. Like curse doesn't exist on my birthday. That's how it works.
Um, uh, somebody has not read the fine print on curses.
Yeah, I don't think that's.
I don't
Yikes.
think
No,
you
that was
could get.
part of the fine print. That's the deal I made with Satan. So
Mm. All
Mm,
right. Well, there you go. That is it for this week of BTT. Does anybody have any final remarks going into our final week of season 7?
let's bring on the
XO,
playoffs.
Yeah.
XO.
EO stands for playoff is ours, by the way.
Oh shit!
Oh my
Oh
god.
no.
My bad.
Too big
Wait,
brain.
but it's supposed to be poo.
Nope. You can take that one up with Elena.
Jack Limestone has a message for Dan's in the chat. It's just update stats.
It's not my fault. People don't put their
Yep.
IDs.
Put your IDs. Put your IDs, please. Put your IDs in the doc. That is it. Oh, Brian, I have a question for you. I'm so sorry. I forgot to ask you, and I almost blanked on it. When should we expect MVP and awards voting ballots?
The day after the games finish, or honestly, the day the games finish. It's pretty
day
easy to
the
set up, but
games
we're
finish.
not going to send out ballots early. I guess I could gate people from filling them in. Maybe I could do that.
Yeah,
But
that's cool. I just want somebody, not me. I will say that the message came from within your own apartment, but somebody asked me to give you that message. So
yeah, it's easy to set up. I just don't trust people not to fill it out early when the game before the games finish, unless I send it out at a specific time right after the games finish. I guess I could gate it, but whatever.
there you go.
Not a big deal though. I mean, everything runs on formulas and stuff. I literally
Yeah.
just like copy and paste, and it's easy.
Yep.
So,
All right.
yeah.
That's
Oh, also, what should we do about like my team? Like, what role are we filed under? I don't know. Maybe that's a question we can answer, Mr. Dan's, after this.
yeah. I think we gotta figure that out. All right. That's it for Bubble Tea Time this week. Thank you guys so much for joining us. You are more than welcome to tune into any of our games this week, starting on Wednesday at 7 p.m. This is the final week. It's going to be some bangers. We're going to figure out seeding. It's going to be a lot of fun. See you guys then. Bye.
Ciao.
Bye.